Hello, Team Harmony. My name is Jamie Saropoulos, and I'm reporting from New York in the United States. For this month's broadcast, I decided to tackle a local issue. My high school is made up of two towns, Mamaroneck being where I live and Larchmont being our neighboring town. It's important to understand that Larchmont is typically seen as the wealthier of the two, harboring 3 elementary schools, whereas Mamaroneck only harbors one, known as the Mamaroneck Avenue School, or as it will be referenced to in this video, MAS. You will see me report on the income difference between the two towns, racial biases that develop, and how this all trickles down to affecting the youngest among us, or the elementary school kids.
My name is Kaylee and I went to MAS.
My name is Brittany Urrutia and I went to MAS.
Sydney Lockwood, I'm an educator.
What was your elementary school experience like?
It wasn't very easy to make friends back in elementary school, especially because a lot of the times the groups were defined by color of your skin. So oftentimes it was kind of like you were subjected into this little box of social boundaries.
Do you remember the first time that you realized that there was a divide between the two towns and the different elementary schools?
It kind of affected me in middle school when I joined the soccer team and I had tried out and all of that. And once I had made it, I had realized like I was the only girl of color and I felt very alone because like, being the only girl of color, it had made me feel like, hey, where are people who look like me?
I've had difficulties not having the same opportunities with students. I've never received tutoring until this year. My tutoring was like free and people still were saying, oh, you're only giving that advantage because you're Hispanic, so it's easier for you. And it's not, because I grew up just like handling things on my own and wanting to like fix it on my own because I wouldn't want to put that pressure on my parents.
Have you noticed yourself any stereotypes between the two towns?
The gap between the two towns, I don't understand it. I think that both Mamaroneck and Larchmont are both beautiful towns, but a little girl went up to my sister and told her that students from MAS aren't smarter than students from like Chatsworth or Murray. And she's telling me this, and I'm like, you're 11. I don't think that the divide between the two towns should have to be so clear in the child's mind.
Some of our kids on one side of town have never been to the school or the playground in another one of our schools. And fortunately or unfortunately, depending on how you look at it, they're often very surprised at the at the beauty of all of their schools.
Mamaroneck is ghetto is the first thing I always hear. And then one time I was like in social studies class and we were talking about like Hooverville, and a student in the classroom was like, oh, look, it's Mamaroneck, and making microaggressions like that, and our teacher's not saying anything. And it's like, how can you let a student say something like that?
I've spoken on this several times, and I genuinely think it all begins at school. Like, that is where we need to teach kids, like, it is okay to be different color. It is okay to be different in any sort of way. But as long as we accept each other, like, that is where it ultimately leads. So if we teach them the right fundamentals of loving each other and acceptance and equality and all those aspects, then they're going to bring themselves into a society where they're going to share all that acceptance and everyone's going to, everyone just benefits from it.
I think that a good idea with like diversity would be exposing kids with each other at a young age, and also just talking in general to younger kids about diversity and what it means and how important it is.
I think as much as we can get kids together earlier through their teachers, their classrooms, through technology, and actually just physically together, it's one thing that we can attempt.
What we're trying to do, because we're starting a multicultural union this year, is that we're trying to have initiatives where we can go to the middle school and we're going to have like a natural hair day where you can just let out your hair and love it, because go ahead, like, love your hair. And we're going to try to integrate crayons for students of color. We try to bring in books that have characters of color and all of that, just so that they know that you're not alone. It is okay to be brown. It is okay to be yourself. All I want at the end of the day is everyone to love each other and peace in the world, if that could ever happen. But yeah.